Alright, so I finally got the delete panel pretty much cut out. You know, did that. Well, not really fully cut out, but had to heat up the seam seal that they put up from the factory, drill out the spot welds, and I only utilized the piece from up here located towards, I say, the front of the car, and there's a small piece here located towards the back of the car, which is basically that little piece that would have been off the original spare tire well, and this front piece that would have been off the original tire well. After that, I welded in the delete panel, a few spot welds with a few beads here and there. And after that, I seam sealed the rest of it. Kind of fabricated somewhat of a little entry for like my feed lines and drain line for the pumps to the cell. Because at first I just used this stock flap that they use, and I had it pried up with this line just coming out, but I didn't really like that, so I just kind of fabricated what I could, and it'll work for now. And I kind of just put a nice little bead seam seal around just to soften it up so it's not too abrasive on the edges, which is good. Painted it after with some Rust-Oleum undercoating. That should do the job. This right here is just a factory paint, I would assume. Not too crazy on it, so it's fine. Once I get all this junk out of here, I'll clean it up a little bit and probably shoot another nice little coat over it, because eventually in the future I will do some tubs, maybe some mini tubs, depending on the size. I don't think Kano don't mind. He just bullying the neighbors for no reason, pretending to be tough. Kano, stop trying to be tough, man. Leave the neighbors alone. They did nothing to you. So yeah, in the future I will do some tubs, because I want to fit a nice big wide wheel under this car, so I'm gonna have to do tubs eventually. That's why I'm not going too crazy with cleaning it up. I'm just doing all of the functional things like the delete panel, etc., etc. I'm gonna do the delete plate over here. I'm gonna weld the cell in. This is the cell, so I have some makeshift spaces I'm gonna be using, and the spaces that elevate the cell in the trunk. That way the sump, sump hangs like it's supposed to. Everything is sit flush, and it'll just drain out, or feed, I should say, feed to the pumps. 10 ANs. 10 AN lines run into my dual 380 liter power pumps, feeding into a single 8 AN line, or I'm sorry, -8 line, coming up to the stock rails. It'll be fun for now. Eventually this would become a restriction depending on how much power I start to make, and once I do actually start to make some real power, I'll probably bump it up to a -10 line, and maybe some aftermarket rails and whatnot. I believe the rails and the -8 line will probably become the only restriction once this car starts to actually make power. But anyway, once I'm done bolting the cell in, like I said, I will bolt the cell right here and center it, which is the main reason why I wanted to get rid of the spare well, because I wanted it nice and flat. I want the battery to sit flat. I want the cell perfectly centered. I wanted it perfectly centered, because before, if I tried to center the cell, half of the cell was hanging up into the well, and I just don't like it. I just prefer the flat. Even though some people keep the spare well and they put the battery in it and they cover it, I don't want to do that. I want it accessible right there. So that's just me. But yep, I'll come back with another video when it's all bolted together and whatnot. And yeah, so I got my lines just hanging out down here. I removed them out the way so I could do all of this. But like I said, it'll be real nice. So come back with a later vid.